What opinion of yours makes you an a-hole? If you want the good answers, switch it to controversial and have fun. Exactly. I hate unpopular opinions threads because it's basically a gigantic circle jerking of opinions that don't truly make you an a-hole and are, in fact, popular opinions here. People who have bad diseases should not be exploited, and calling them beautiful out of pity does nothing. I have Crohn's disease, and when people find out what it's all about, they act as if I'm some sort of Herculean Jesus. It's a pretty gross, painful and unavoidably embarrassing disease, so I'd really rather let it slide into the back of my personality than let it define who I am. Yet people love to make an example of my case. Nothing is more alienating than other people using my illness and illness most people have little intimate experience with as some sort of benchmark for their personal brand of heroism. Sure, my case is debilitating and sure, I've accomplished just about what's expected of me for a person my age, but I don't believe I deserve a pat on the back for it now, living. And nobody else should get one for sticking up for me. I can defend myself. You know what I could use though? Softer toilet paper. Not totally related, but I think people who refuse to buy comfortable toilet paper are a-holes. It's not my opinions that make me an a-hole. It's my horrible personality. You're not wrong. /you/octogenary and sandwich. You're just an a-hole. My parents always told me that being right was awful lonely. Since I don't enjoy being around people, this sounded a lot less like a bad thing than they intended. I hate dancing. I really effing hate it. It's just not fun for me. I don't have control over that. I really wish people would stop giving me just for not dancing. I have the audacity to believe that not everyone is dating/marriage material. You would be surprised at how often I'm considered an a-hole because of this. I was watching TLC the other day and saw a show about a 1,200 pounds man. Every day he needs someone to wipe his change his diaper, which is a huge sheet, and clean out the infections in his fat rolls. Guess who did it? His wife. If someone is madly in love with this guy, I think at least somebody out of 8 billion people will find any given person dating material. I don't have blanket respect for everyone's opinion. If you share your opinion and I think it's stupid, I'm going to share that opinion as well. If you want to share your opinions without being challenged, become a dental hygienist. I think a lot of the mentally handicapped people I've met are a-holes. Once you reach a certain age, you should be retested for your driver's license. There are way too many elderly people driving out there that shouldn't be driving. I've always felt that everyone should have to take the full test every 8 years, no matter what. Having an expensive camera doesn't make you a professional photographer. I get so much hate because of it. You can judge most books by their cover. Just because you're in the military does not mean you are better than me. I hate tipping. I do it only because I understand why we tip in the US and I don't feel like screwing over my waiter/waitress, but I vehemently opposed it and wish it would change. Pay tip workers an actual wage so that I can tip them for actually doing a good job, not because the restaurant was too cheap to treat their employees right. Hello Mr. Pink. As an Australian, the idea of tipping someone because I'm expected to blows my mind. I couldn't give a flying F when a celebrity dies. Why? Because I didn't know them. I'm gonna be sad when Bill Murray goes though. Do your fine job. There are too many a-holes just skating by in every aspect of their jobs. I think that's a pretty popular and accepted opinion. I suppose that makes me an a-hole for thinking that sometimes they've earned the right to just skate by. Some jobs are just too shy to be motivated to do well in, especially with a shy boss and shy pay. If I'm guaranteed not to get rewarded for hard work, why should I work hard? Yeah, it makes other people's days better, but I don't like people half the time, and it never reciprocates. I also think customers should be held accountable for how well they are served. If you treat me like while I'm on the clock, I should be able to tell you to F off. Pulling the plug or not shouldn't be an issue, just end it already. Turning it off and back on usually solves the problem anyway. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe that you're socially awkward/say inappropriate thugs because you're super high functioning autism. You're just looking for an excuse to say and do what you want with no filters. Basically the self-diagnosed people with autism on Tumblr. You don't just make a blog on Tumblr. Say you have autism, then go around being a dick. That's not how it works. Source: teacher of students with autism. I don't care about my father. He was a shitty father. He was never a part of my life and I didn't visit him when he was dying. He just passed away, and I didn't attend the funeral. Why should I? He left when I was young, and I didn't know him. He only called me once in 7 years, and asked for money. His family thinks I'm an a-hole for not caring. I hope they hate me, so I don't have to talk to them again, now that he's gone. Why should you owe someone consideration you weren't given? Right on. I don't think you're an a-hole. The actual a-holes were probably downvoted. Reminds me of these lyrics. Now ain't nobody tell us it was fair, no love from my daddy. Cause the coward wasn't there, he passed away, and I didn't cry. Cause my anger wouldn't let me feel for a stranger. They say I'm wrong and I'm heartless. But all along I was looking for a father, he was gone. Minus 2-pack. Dear mama. Why the hell do we need the Black Music Awards when there's already black musicians at the Grammys? Self-segregation will never help diminish racism till Black Music Awards exist. Dumb people have more kids, and this has a significant contribution on the demographic of our society. People of low intelligence are more likely to have children at an early age as they may take less precaution, consider their finances less, and have a lack of fulfillment provided by a career or other pursuits. I just really don't effing care about my coworkers' kids. A woman I work with has me legitimately fearing for her son. When I started a couple years back, I caught on pretty quickly that her life revolved around her kid. Any extended conversation with her quickly turned to little Jeffrey this, little Jeffrey that. She's attached to her kid. Whatever. I also noticed she was the only one granted special hours by management. She was allowed to come in early, take half a lunch and leave super early. 2 PM for a 9 to 5 place. She was maybe putting in 6 hours a day and getting paid for a full one like the rest of us. Oh, I like to be home and have a snack ready for Jeffrey when he gets home from school. She doesn't want to raise a latchkey kid. Whatever. Get to talking to her in the lunchroom. It was preferable to dead silence, but only slightly. I freaked out yesterday. Little Jeffrey didn't come home right from school. He stopped at a friend's house without calling me first. I told him he's never to do that again or he's grounded. Okay, little overbearing, but it can be an unsafe world sometimes. I caught Jeffrey talking to a girl from school. I warned him about girls. He knows he's not to be dating or anything like that. Red flag. Anyway, I go on not paying it much attention. She's a little nutty, but a lot of moms are nowadays. She'll probably back off when he gets to middle school. Then I get roped into seeing a picture of little Jeffrey one day, all 250 plus lbs of him. Kid is 15, at a school dance with, you guessed it, his loving mother. Oh, that's so precious. I managed to stutter out, flabbergasted. Well, recently management had a little chat with her, and being that her little Jeffrey is damn near a fully grown man, and much bigger than your average fully grown man, they would no longer allow special mom hours. Jeff, I'm pulling for you, dude. Please don't go buck wild on your first taste of freedom. Kids are like farts. You can stand your own, but other people's are unbearable. I had a coworker the other day tell me that he'd read an article online that weekend about conversation topics no one cares about, and the one thing was other people's kids. He lamented and berated himself for 5 minutes about how his life revolves around his kids and the only stories he has to tell are about his kids, and how irritating and boring other people must find him, and then spent 10 minutes telling me everything his kids did that weekend. There is something worse than your coworker talking about their kids. It's listening to your coworker have an existential crisis because an article told him that no one effing cares about his stories about his kids. Eater, I know it's kind of against site etiquette, but well. Thank you so much for the gold. Whoever gifted it to me. I've never had gold before. I will use it well. That's when you say the article was certainly dead on. As soon as he finishes up his story, send him spiraling down. What are your hobbies? I have kids, so no time for hobbies. X10. I actually find making friends with other parents virtually impossible because of this mentality. It strikes me as very boring people having kids to fill this hole in their lives, which results from them being too lazy to really engage their interests and be proactive about getting out and doing things. Like, they've had kids to make their lives less boring, but they've just remained boring as hell. Now they have a kid, to teach how to be boring as hell too. Kids are like the best excuse to take up more hobbies. They love doing with you. You get to teach them about whatever this hobby is, be it gaming or woodworking or it doesn't matter. Get projects going with them. It's fun. Stop being so effing boring. No hobbies. What a ridiculous concept. You mean the stars of babies I don't care about? Schools and workplaces shouldn't have to bang foods for a single person's allergies. Louis C.K. said it best, but maybe point. If touching a nut kills you, you're supposed to die. Of course not. Jesus. I have a nephew who has that. I'd be devastated if that happened to him. But maybe point. If we all just do this, cover our eyes, for 1 year, we are done with nut allergies forever. This of course, but maybe bit of his is by far my favorite comedy bit. He truly captures my a-hole mind. Being somebody with a nut allergy, I think this food ban only needs to take place in kindergartens and elementary schools, especially when you're younger. It's very comforting to know that nobody's eating a lunch that could potentially kill you. It's not as easy for little kids to keep track of all of their foods and allergies, so it's nice for somebody to help them with that. In high school and beyond though, you should keep track of your and be able to handle your allergy. I'm against the death penalty, not because it's morally wrong or cruel, but because it's too lenient. Oh, this is edgy in a good way. Similarly, I'm against the death penalty because I feel like it's the cheap way out. If someone kills my wife, I don't want the government to execute them. I want to, slowly, with rusty farm implements. I believe that stupidity is a serious problem. Stupidity has a certain charm ignorance does not. Frank Zappa. All the good music has already been written by people with wigs and stuff. Frank Zappa. I would abort the F out of my unborn child if they had some severe disease or disorder like Down syndrome or progeria. Damn, this is one I agree with and feel douchy saying. Honestly, I understand the pride a disabled child's parents have, but also their sadness/disappointment. Ballots should have a few basic fact-based questions, and if you get them wrong your vote should be tossed in a trash can. I think they used to do this in order to reduce the amount of black voters. Can't remember exactly when, but I heard something about it. I think most Redditors are idiots who can't follow basic guidelines or have any kind of discourse. That does not make you an a-hole, just a statistician. Oi, fight me, I will smash you cunt. You think you tough. M8. I'm a 6'3", 200 pounds guy, and I support equality and never would hit a woman. But I'm often considered an a-hole for supporting defending yourself/fighting back. If a woman hits you, I hate that women scream for equality but expect you to do nothing when they pound you with their fists. Because I'm bigger, stronger, and most importantly, a male doesn't mean you can hit me without consequences. I think people that talk too much should just shut up. TL. Doctor. If you discover your baby has an illness of some sort, etc., Downs, and you don't want to have this baby, that is perfectly fine. Abortion is your own choice. You should at least try to understand completely what your opponent is saying, or where they are coming from. No excuses. I'm a Republican. I hear that makes me an a-hole. I think it's ridiculous that NFL players wear pink gloves to promote breast cancer awareness. I don't even know why they do or when this started. Yes, it is a debilitating and horrible disease, but so is prostate cancer, which also happens to affect a much higher percentage of the NFL's fans. It's just not as en vogue, and no one wants to wear a brown bracelet, and no one wants to talk about getting a finger up the pooper or a colonoscopy. It's to try to gain a larger popularity amongst women. It's strictly a business move on the NFL's part. I never thought of that angle. Seems like a stretch though. Come watch the game with me, honey. Oh, you know I hate football. I know. But they are wearing pink gloves. Really? Move over. Football's the best. Awareness campaigns are a joke, especially for a disease like breast cancer that has high visibility and diagnosis as well as good prognosis. The public needs to choose where they donate more carefully, because research into more deadly cancers and other diseases need the money far more than breast cancer awareness. Men can get breast cancer too. Homosexuals who make their whole persona about their sexuality, sorry, but they effing annoy me. It's the same as marijuana smokers who make their whole life about weed, or sports fans who only talk about sports. That makes you shallow, and less relatable, and b, not fun to be around. I have a coworker exactly like this. I'm gay and I hate this too. I mean, I occasionally make my persona about me being gay, but it's usually in some form of joke. I have friends who hate gays for this exact reason. I always tell them, you shouldn't dislike them because they are gay. You should dislike them because they are being effing annoying. An annoying gay guy is just as annoying as a narcissistic mom who can't find her coupon book at Walmart, or an irritating kid, or a dumb coworker. Also, I'm not saying that all or most gay guys are this way. If you're annoying and in my face about anything, I'll probably dislike you regardless of what you like. I just can't be with ugly/overweight girls. I feel like that makes me douchey. It doesn't. It's a preference. However, I feel that the rule don't be a dick still applies. There was a lady on here a few months back, and the thread was about something similar to me. What she said was simple yet powerful. Don't remember her username, but she said, as an obese woman, I understand that you might not be attracted to me, but that doesn't give you the right to treat me like sh, and I totally agree with that. I'm not attracted to the larger ladies, but that doesn't mean I can't be nice to them. What really pisses me off is when people think that making fun of people or otherwise treating them badly will make them lose weight. They don't even really believe that. They just use it as an excuse to be an a-hole. If they really cared about that person's health, they would be supportive, not try to tear them down. And since this is Reddit, I feel like I have to have a preemptive no, I'm not overweight. Disclaimer. You don't need to be overweight to see bullshit for what is it. Nothing you can do about who you are attracted to, you just don't be an A. I should point out that there's a difference between being on the chubbier side but still healthy, and b, being grossly unhealthily overweight. Also, people are most definitely allowed to have preferences about who they date. Some people don't like to date musicians or guys named Kevin. As long as you don't state your preferences in an a-harly way, you're definitely allowed to have your types who you would or wouldn't date, or guys named Kevin. That's my name. All babies are fat and ugly. I think it is irresponsible to continue a pregnancy when you know that the baby will not grow to be self-sufficient, academics, etc. People want to put those parents on a pedestal because they are raising a special needs child, but I think it's because they are too weak to make tough decisions. What's gonna happen after you pass and there is no one to take care of them? What if you get too sick to care for them? Why should society pay to keep these people housed, clothed, fed, and cared for medically? We shouldn't. Bring on the hateful responses. I will likely not respond though. I want to hire the most qualified professional person, not the person who makes the office the most diverse, or the person to whom we owe something because he or she served our country. I think reminding people how skinny they are is as big issue as reminding people how fat they are. I'm skinny, and sometimes when I'm checking calories or choosing a healthy option, someone will be like, why do you care about the number of calories? Hahaha. That's why I'm skinny. Yay man, I hate when a fat person says something like you're so skinny, eat something. Suddenly you become an a-hole when you say you're fat back to them. You're so skinny, eat something. I would, but you obviously beat me to it. I hate that whenever a woman posts a photo of herself on any social network, even LinkedIn, people, usually other women, write comments like gorgeous, beautiful, so pretty. A. It's destructive to only praise women for the way they look. B. A lot of the time, the woman doesn't look gorgeous in her photo. It's difficult to praise a photograph for its intelligence or capableness.